Okay.
Teammates, we are back once again. If this is your first time listening to the Move Swiftly podcast, welcome to the show. Great to have you. To my regular listeners, you already know how I get down, Mr. Innovative Teamwork. This is the #1 show on innovative teamwork for a reason, folks. It was just, 2 weeks ago now? I'm, doing my thing. I'm out there networking, working events, doing what I normally do. And I run into a lady who is in the health and fitness world, is pushing products that are all about health and wellness and fitness. And whenever somebody, this is just a word out to anybody else who's pushing these kinds of products, whenever you have that, you have my attention. My antennas always go up when we're talking health, when we're talking nutrition. Where me as a runner, I'm always interested in things that are going to be beneficial for the body, especially, my father has had, he had to deal with the kidney failure, got to replace kidney, the whole thing. So the history when it comes to my family, Riika, it's like I'm always interested in things that are going to be beneficial for the health and body. So with all that being said,
Absolutely.
I don't want to make the intro too long because as you can see, I can get a little long-winded. I get a little fired up when we talk about what we're going to talk about. But with all that being said, Riika Wright, welcome to the Move Swiftly podcast. How you doing today? Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Look, it's like you're long-winded. That's because you're excited. When you get excited, it's like I just got to keep going.
Yes, yeah,
But
you
thank
got
you
to
for
talk.
having me on. I definitely appreciate you. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you. It was a pleasure meeting you at that vending event. We just clicked, and you're like, I gotta have you on this podcast. And like you said, health and just anything with health and helping people, your family, your friends. That's what's important. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I mean, actually, with all that, I'll just have you take it away. Talk to us because here's my thing. And when it comes to the health and the wellness space, it's so rare to meet people that are very passionate about that specific subject that haven't gone through some sort of medical injury themselves. Because you get a lot of people who say they want to work out, they never do it. You get a lot of people who say, I'm gonna start eating right, I'm gonna do this year. You get a bunch of that. I'm sure you can, me and you could probably talk for hours when it comes to that. But when you get people that are doing it from the goodness of their heart, they obviously love the products and things like that. But when they're doing it from that place, I'm always interested in their background, where they came from, what got them into the space where they're now, really pushing for these health beneficial products. So talk to us a little bit about your background, where you're from, that kind of thing, and then we'll get into some of the stuff about Noni Juice. Or Noni Fresh. I should say
Oh,
Noni
absolutely.
fruit that becomes juice. I've been doing my research, girl.
Yes.
I've been doing it.
Yes.
I don't just have anyone on. Do my research and know exactly what I'm getting into. So go ahead.
Right. I love it. I love it. So my name is Riika Wright, as you already know. And I got started. Well, first of all, let me go back a little bit. I'm from New York, Queens, New York. Okay.
Rich?
And I got in, yes, Queens. And I joined the Navy right out of high school. Okay. Joined the Navy. When I joined the Navy, you go in, you think you know everything at 18 years old. And so I was in for 4 years. And when I got out, I was diagnosed with PFS, patellofemoral syndrome, and also osteoarthritis. And at that age, you're like, what? Like, I'm not 92. Like, we're 90. That's crazy. Why am I diagnosed with osteo anything,
Mm-hmm.
And so a
And
lot
this
of
was
like,
at 18, you said?
I went in at 18.
Okay.
I got out at 22.
Oh my, yeah, that's still a
So
very young woman.
exactly. And so when I got out, with all these diagnoses, and I'm like, what is going on? So, in the military, you just do a lot to the body, right? And so hearing those diagnoses, I wasn't cool with it. A couple years later, I had to get knee injections. That was no fun. Okay. And so after that, my mom actually, let's rewind.
Yes.
Growing up, my mom used to give me Noni juice right before I went to school. So this is not something new that just popped out of nowhere, right? People know what Noni juice is. They know that it's good for you. And I started drinking it then, and I didn't get sick. Like as a child, I wasn't sick. And so when this was reintroduced to me a year ago, I was like, wow, this is something that can help people. But I started to drink it again myself last year, and my knee pain went away.
Mm-hmm.
So that got my attention because I was like, wait a minute, like I couldn't do squats. I couldn't really exercise like I wanted to. I gained a bunch of weight, right? Had, all this joint pain. And so that was absolutely no fun. The knee injections, hated it. And so when I saw that it helped me and it gave me back even energy, right? Like I said, I lost weight the first 2 weeks, dropped a few pounds. So that got my attention, and I started to tell everybody about this amazing juice. I know I probably said a little bit about the juice, but that's what it did for me as far as like my testimony with it.
Yes.
Just phenomenal. I love how it helped me, and so I know how it can help, other people.
So I want to go back a little bit from your background. So when you get these diagnoses, right? And like you said, you're a young woman, you're hearing words like arthritis, you're hearing the other term you mentioned. What happened, but what was that gap between you getting this diagnosis and then figuring out how to come back to the Noni juice? And what makes it so like that that was it? Because like I mentioned,
Right.
a lot of different products, and I'm sure that the actual doctors who diagnosed you didn't say go get some Noni juice or go go back to the things that your mother taught you. These are things that again you have to be lucky. You have to run into people. You have to be actually seeking something. What was that transition like, and can you tell a little bit, like, kind of fill us in when it comes to that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, like I said, my mom used to give this to me, and this was what, 20 years ago or so, right? Um, and so after getting out the Navy, I went years, like years, because I got out the Navy in 2007. Okay, so this is not something like I just got out and yesterday my
Yeah,
knee was
that's what I
hurting.
mean. Yeah, because
No,
there's a huge
yeah,
gap
so it's
between
been it's
right, right.
been yeah, it's been years. And so I gained weight, like I said, and I just, you just live life and you think, okay, I'm good, or I'm gonna deal with this pain forever. And when I got introduced to this a year ago, that's when I started to drink it. And I
Mm,
started to realize within that first week or so, like, okay, my knees are not hurting. I didn't have those
mhm.
sharp joint pains, right? I was able to do things like even getting in my car. My son, bless his heart, he's 15 and he likes to make fun of his mom. And so he would do like little parodies or skits of me getting in the car. And I'm like, really, child?
Yeah,
And just making sounds and all these things. And I'm like, I'm not even this old. He would do that and
mhm.
it'd be funny, but I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, wow, like he's seeing me do all this and he's, pretending he's me and acting like an 80-year-old. And I'm like, this is
Yeah,
not good. And so after drinking the juice, I was like, wow, this is really helping me get my quality of life back.
yeah,
Being able to start working out again. Like I couldn't even work out. I couldn't do squats or any of that. Now I can squat.
yes.
Now I'm actually down 47 pounds altogether just from last May. And it's been a game changer.
Well, I can speak from the perspective of a 15-year-old boy, and I'm sure I'm sure that it was all fun and games, but on a serious note, when you think about your parents having things wrong with them health-wise, having things go wrong, I'm sure he's ridiculously proud of you for making sure that you got yourself together, and he
Yeah,
doesn't want to necessarily make those jokes because he wants to see you get better. So I'm sure that that was kind of the motivation behind those jokes, and I'm sure he's proud of what you're doing now. But speaking of
yeah.
that, that's where I kind of want to really get to as well, because there are a lot of products out there. There are a lot of things out
Mhm.
there that people start promising this and promising that. And one of the things I'm an advocate for, and I always say, is you still got to work out. You still got to grow out. You still got to do your work. You can't just, again, for you
Yeah,
listeners out there, if you think you're just going to drink the juice and the weight's just going to fall off, or you're just going to put the weight on, all that kind of stuff. Can you speak a little bit to that? Like, talk to me about specific workouts in which you start to see the benefits, because, like you said, you were out of it and you were trying
mhm.
to work out, you were trying to do this, but where can you start sort of point to one workout and say, okay, I couldn't squat there, I knew it was the Noni juice? Can you provide any examples like that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
So, getting started with the noni juice, and it's your environment, who you're surrounding yourself with, right? And so I started to surround myself with people who, wanted to be healthy, people who were on that journey of maybe they had issues prior and now they're good, right? Now they're working out again, they're health conscious, and they're like, okay, this is the direction I want to go in. And so being around that environment, it encouraged me to say, maybe I should start, working out again. Before I was
Yeah,
scared to
started with
because
the
I didn't want
person,
to get
started
caught.
with the people, right?
Right. I didn't want to get hurt, you know?
Mhm.
And I knew like, okay, I have this issue, that issue. I don't want to overexert myself and get hurt. I don't want to deal with the pain. But once I started drinking the juice, being in that environment, and they're like, hey, let's do this. And they started challenges. We did a 28-day challenge. And that's when I knew that I was
Mhm.
like, wait a minute. I started working out, started doing the challenge, nothing crazy, of course,
Yeah, that's
but
what,
just
yeah,
started to
what was the challenge?
move again.
What was
The
the challenge?
28-day
Yeah.
challenge. Yeah, so what it was, the challenge was to pick two products that you're going to use so that you know, like these are the products that I'm
It
going
didn't
to
even,
use
this
over these
wasn't a Noni
28 days.
Juice challenge. This was just a challenge amongst peers.
This was a challenge amongst peers, but it was
Ah,
my business
okay, I got you.
partners.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I used the Noni juice and I used our weight loss drops, which
Okay.
are homeopathic blend, no hormones, and they have noni in them. Okay. So it was like a double whammy. That's all I used. And literally the weight fell off. I started to do my squats again. I could not squat before.
Yes.
Started to do squats, realized that wait, my knee pain, like there's no knee pain here. You know, even lunges.
Hmm.
I went to the park and started to do lunges with a friend of mine, and I looked at her and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that,"
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I knew the pain would just come, and I was like, "You know what? Let me try." And I did it. I was
Hmm.
like, "Wait a minute," and I went a little lower, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Wait a minute!" Like the pain is gone, you know, and my energy levels were up, were higher, and so I said, "Okay, like this is amazing." The
Hmm.
fact that I can work out again, the fact that I can do these exercises that I wasn't able to do before, the fact that my energy levels went up, they increased, you know, and I'm feeling good. I'm not walking around sluggish and tired.
Hmm.
So even my skin, you know, not that my skin was crazy before, but my skin now it looks amazing. And I
Hmm.
started using the Noni topically because you can use it topically. So I would put that on my face at nighttime before I would go to bed. I put the Noni on my face, you know, do whatever I was doing around the house, and then I would rinse it off. And I'm like, my skin's looking amazing, right?
Right, right.
So, and no makeup. Like I don't have any makeup.
Yeah,
So these,
that's
it's
important too.
just that natural fruit, right? It just makes your skin glow. It gives you that energy. It helps with your joint pain. It helps with inflammation, which is huge because a lot of the illnesses and diseases people are dealing with stems from inflammation in the body,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
saw,
that
I
is,
read
it's
too
help.
that it lowers oxidative stress, which is a
It
huge,
does.
huge thing for me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had to watch my dad get a kidney transplant all
Mhm.
through high school. He was on dialysis and being
Wow.
yeah, being introduced to that world. I am super like now I'm like a health nut. People call me a fitness enthusiast now, but I'm like a health nut. Seeing these
Yeah.
very, very important. But I do want to make sure I go and be respectful of your time. But just so we're clear here, these were 28 days of different workouts and you had the products to use. So you saw, and this is important for you listeners to pick up on when it comes to what she said. This is 28 days of her working out different and then trying a specific product. Okay, so many of
Mhm.
you guys just get into working out, join whatever challenge, you just do whatever because you want to just say you did it and you're wondering why
Mhm.
you're not getting the results that you're hoping to get. These are
Right.
specific things and they're making sure that certain times a day they're taking this specific thing so they have actual proven results. This is the
Right. So we're being,
folks. All right, it's not just gonna fall off. You're not gonna go
no,
like surgery somewhere. A doctor not going to. You have got to seek it. You have got to make sure you schedule time and make it a priority if you want to be. And this is for the people who want to be
right.
for their youngins, for their kids, for the younger people. Again, I'm sure your son was a huge motivating factor when it saw those when you saw those lunges and you're like, look. I gotta try it. I ain't gonna just look. I just gonna just watch people get better than me. That's what my college coach used to tell me. They'll just watch someone get better than you, and that's the way.
Yeah. And my son, like you said, he was a huge motivation. My son is a basketball player,
Yeah,
right?
that's all.
He's on his high school team, he's on the AAU team and working out every day, you know?
Mhm.
And some of the things he wants me to do with him, I couldn't even do. And I was like, man, this sucks. Like, you know, I have a 15-year-old and he wants me to like do stuff with him. And I'm like, I can't, it hurts. And he's like, all right. And he will understand. But for me, I didn't like that, you know? And so now I can do those things with him, like physical activities and, you know, and just have fun with him. And so like you said, you have to be consistent,
Yes.
right? With taking your products, with working out, This is no magic trick, right? This is not something I just drink it one day and then, oh my gosh, I'm amazing.
Yes.
No, yes, it's going to help you. You know, it's going to help you, but you have to help yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There's no magic pill, like none anywhere. And this is obviously the noni juice is not a pill, it's a fruit, right? The noni fruit is literally a tropical fruit, and you can find it on any tropical climates really, in Hawaii, in Tahiti, in Jamaica, in Haiti. And we have the original Tahitian noni juice, which is where all of our noni fruits get plucked up from. So the natives that are in Tahiti, they are literally there
Mm-hmm.
pulling the noni fruit, okay? And we have 20 noni fruits in each bottle. And
Mm-hmm.
so you're getting literally the juice from the noni fruit, right? So it's a powerful plant, but you need to do your part. Because if you're drinking noni juice or like our plant-based protein, we do have plant-based protein as well. And like I mentioned earlier, our skinny drops, you can take all of that and say, my goal is to lose 50 pounds by such and such a date, but you do nothing else. It's just not going to work, right? You need to put the effort in and get that cardio in, whether you set a timer and just walk for 10 minutes a day or whatever it is you have to change. You have to make those changes and write it down, right?
Yes.
The Bible says, write the vision,
And
make
make
it
it
plain.
plain and make it
So when
make
it's
it plain.
written, that means, oh, I can see it. It's plain now, right? It's in front of your eyes, and now you can see it. You have a plan. You can look at it and you can implement it and be consistent with it. You're going to see amazing results.
Yes.
Amazing results.
Yes, and actually, I'm not. I want to be very respectful of your time, but I do want to make sure we talk about this because you did mention that you do have your son take it, and he does play basketball. And me, as a former athlete, work with a lot of high school athletes. Can you share a little bit about the benefits that you've seen from him taking it? Because I know
Yeah.
that's a very very important aspect of playing sports at that level. Because I
Yeah.
dealt with quite a few injuries myself. So go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So I can definitely speak on that. So I'll give you a couple of examples with my son. So yes, he plays basketball for his high school, and he's on the rec team and AAU. So
A lot of
I'm
cardio.
busy. Y'all pray for
My
me, okay?
nephew, my nephew's the same way, exact same way.
Yes,
It's like my
y'all pray for your girl. So I'm like everywhere with him. So before the Noni juice, right? He would play. He would have games and things like that. He did get hurt.
Mhm.
After the noni juice, he fractured a bone. Okay, but after the noni juice, I could tell his energy is different, and he noticed it. Right, he's telling me on the court like how he felt. So
And
during the
this him
games,
taking it like drinking a cup a day or like what's the measurable in terms of how
so
much?
he drinks. Listen, as a teenage boys, they like everything, and like they just want to drink a bunch of stuff. But he's drinking about 4 ounces a day.
Okay.
Okay, so that means, and I say 4 ounces, we have the on the go noni pouches where there's 2 ounces of noni juice in each pouch. So if you're on the go and you're moving around a lot, you can just throw them in your pocket, put them in your bag, put them in your gym bag.
Mm-hmm.
They're TSA approved, take it on the plane with you.
All right.
You can just rip and sip. So he drinks those. So we have it in the bottle and in the pouches, just depends on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what he would do instead of drinking Gatorade, because that dehydrates people, right? And so he would do water while he's playing his game. I will fill his bottle with water, maybe 3/4 of the way. The rest, noni juice. So as he's playing throughout the game, he can sip and drink, and not just water, but he has the nutrients and the vitamin that he needs in that noni juice, and it's giving him energy, and
Mm-hmm.
he feels amazing. So he would drink the noni before his game, and while he's playing the water bottle, but the noni juice is in there.
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely feels that difference. Another thing, he used, I don't remember what the lotion was. He used some lotion on his body, and he broke out. I mean, everywhere, just broke out, red, bumps everywhere. And so that evening, he was sitting on the couch, which was odd because he's normally at the rec, he's at practice, he's doing something with basketball. He's never like just sitting at home on the couch. And I was like, it's 6 o'clock. What do you feel like? You okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, no. He was like, I broke out. He's like, and it hurts. And I was like, what? So I said, you know what? We had a wellness call earlier that day, And the person on the call was given different ways to use Noni and how it helps at the cellular level and even with pain and things like that. So she's like, if something's going on, increase your Noni. So I said, you know what? We about to give you a glass of Noni. So I went and got a glass, gave him a full glass. It's probably, 8 ounces or so. And I said, go ahead and drink that. And, let's see what happens. He drank it. He went to bed and he woke up the next day, went to school early. When he got back, he was like, Ma, energy was on 10. He was like, Ma, I said, what's up? He's like, guess what? I have a noni moni. I said, a what? He said, a noni moni. I said, what is that? He said, get it? A noni testimony. I said, you funny.
Oh, yeah,
So I said, well,
I was just telling the staff, I can't keep up with these little young teenage slang, man. They come up with something new every day. So
they make up their own words,
right,
right? So he put together a noni testimony. And he said, it's a noni moni. I said, okay, I'm gonna use that.
take
And
it,
so,
in the future,
yeah, or
man.
testimonial. Now we say testimonial,
Right.
right? So I said, okay, well, tell me what happened. And he said, well, remember when you gave me the glass of noni juice, last night? I went to bed and he's like, man, I woke up and I didn't have like all the redness, the bumps, like everything is gone. And I was like, let me see. And I looked at his skin like, wow,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, that's amazing.
That
I was
wasn't
like, how
even
do
the
you
lotion.
feel? Huh?
That wasn't even the lotion, the stuff for your skin, right?
Yeah, that was he used some lotion,
Right.
just to lotion his skin. It wasn't any, I think he got it from like Ross. I don't know. I
Okay,
don't
yeah,
know what's in the lotions, right? So whatever it was, it broke him out. So I
exactly.
gave him the noni juice for it. And the next day he was saying he felt amazing.
Mhm.
His feet didn't hurt, his legs didn't hurt, all the redness and the bumps were gone.
Right.
And he was like, man, he's like, that stuff works. He was excited. He's like, yo, that stuff works. So he drinks it every day. And that's why I'm out of Noni all the time.
All right, man.
The
Well, hey,
UPS man stay at my door
I
with
guess
Noni
that's a
because
good, sort of a good problem for you. Because
yeah.
well, I do see. I don't want to be respectful of your time, and I want to make sure we get this in. What is the best way that people can get in touch with you if they want to reach out? I'm sure, especially if you're a coach or if you're a young athlete listening to this specific episode, you definitely should be reaching out to her. But what's the best way that someone can get in contact with you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you can reach out to me on Facebook, on Instagram. My name is Riika Wright. That's Riika, last name Wright, Wright. So just look me up on Facebook, Instagram. You can DM me.
Mhm.
My link is in the bio too on Instagram if you want to order anything. But DM me if you have any questions. And my phone number is 757-613-1968. That's 757-613-1968.
Right. And we'll make sure to include all that in the show notes as well. So, Riika, the what I do with all my episodes is how I close out the show. As I want you to go back, use your imagination a little bit. You just literally got the diagnosis. You got arthritis. You're 22, got arthritis. You're overweight. At this point, your son is probably in the toddler stage, and he's just tugging and just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. There's so many things going on. It feels like the world's on your shoulder. I want you to pretend she just clicked into the Zoom room. What exactly do you tell her will officially close as you give that young lady some words of encouragement?
Wow. Whew. That was a time right there. As I think back, wow. I just want you to know
Hmm.
that it is well and it will be well. You just have to take it one step at a time, be at peace, do the best that you can do, and live in the moment. Okay. Everything is going to be fine. Um, you're going to find something amazing that is going to help you with your health. It's going to help you with your energy. It's going to help with the joint pain, right? That osteoarthritis, that patellofemoral syndrome that they diagnosed you with. That is not you. That is not who you are. That is just a label that we can throw out. But once you have these amazing products come into your life, you're going to feel totally different and it's going to help you tremendously. You're going to be able to do the things with your son that you were not able to do before. So, um, yeah, just be encouraged. Be encouraged.
All right, fellow teammates, continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.